Hi and welcome. Hope you're doing well. To help protect our team from voice and identity cloning and to make sure our customers never receive fake or impersonated contact with us, we're now using AI for our webinars and videos. I'm Chris, Tech Results Friendly AI host. I'm about as human looking as current technology allows. And just to be clear, there's a whole team of real humans behind the scenes, ready to talk to you anytime you reach out. And this is not going to take up too much of your day today, but we're going to leave you with some really important things that you can do and you can take away and implement quickly to reduce the risk of a devastating cyber incident to your business. But let's keep it upbeat and let's see what we can do to make your business be more successful, because there are opportunities as well as costs when it comes to cyber risks. So let's get started. For businesses, they've recently started to recognize cyber is a big risk, and IT traditionally has been just lumbered with dealing with cyber as part of their general day-to-day work. But as we saw with Marks and Spencer's, Co-op, Land Rover Jaguar, people are starting to get the inkling that maybe this is a business risk problem that the board needs to be looking at. So my recommendation to you is that you escalate cybersecurity to your board of directors, which is where it belongs because it's a business risk and they need to be fully aware and engaged, if not already. So what are the opportunities? Well, we've got compliance. If you are meeting compliance standards like ISO 27001, NIST, Cyber Essentials Plus, and your competitors aren't, it's possible for you to bid on projects that they can't successfully bid on. Now, this is not just a paper tick boxing exercise. For businesses that have completed these standards, there is quite good evidence now that they do reduce the risk. With everything advancing so quickly now with AI, these standards can be a little bit outdated and quite basic, but it's a good starting point. So let's just have a quick look at what happened with Marks and Spencer's, because I think it's quite important to understand those risks. So with Marks and Spencer's, it took them around 4 months to get their online store system back working again. For business leaders, I think it's important to understand that this isn't something where we just go and buy new or wipe computers and are up and running again tomorrow. It can take months, and in a lot of cases, it may not be possible to recover. We've worked on an instance where a business has spent 6 figures on recovery costs. So it is really important that your business is spending the right amount of money on cyber. Once you move the cyber risk from IT to being a board issue, you also want to assign it its own budget. So ring-fence the money you plan to spend on cyber and make sure that it's separated out from other IT costs. It is not possible to have zero risk, but there's a lot we can do to reduce the risk to our organizations, and simple things that cost very little money can make a big difference. It's a bit like if you go out and leave the lights on, you're less likely to be burgled. But why construction? Why are construction companies hit time and time again? The reasons are twofold. The first one is money. Most hackers are after money, and construction companies generally have a lot of it moving around. There's a lot of materials they buy, a lot of money comes in and out. So, while the margins may not be very big for a lot of construction companies that move around a lot of money, there's lots of opportunities because they are paying lots of different suppliers to get involved somewhere in that process and extract the money. The second major reason is that IT systems are not typically a core strength for many construction companies. This makes them more vulnerable targets for cybercriminals who exploit weak or outdated security measures. Many organizations tell us that they are running antivirus software and that it is enough to protect their systems, or that their competitors aren't addressing cyber risk, so they don't need to worry about it. In reality, that is one of the weakest approaches to risk management. Just because competitors are failing to take cyber risks seriously doesn't mean you should follow suit. And also, antivirus software by itself is no longer enough to keep your organization safe. The focus should be on the potential impact to the business and whether the investment delivers real value. When you do that, it becomes clear that there are genuine opportunities to outperform competitors, particularly when it comes to winning contract bids by meeting security and compliance requirements. The reputational damage caused by cyber incidents can be significant, and it's something we should avoid wherever possible. While nothing can ever be 100% risk-free, shifting cybersecurity to board-level responsibility and then delivered by your IT team goes a long way towards ensuring that due diligence, systems and processes are robust and fit for purpose. So, what could happen to us? Let's have a look now at some of the technical ways that hackers are causing cyber incidents for organizations. This will help us understand the terminology so we can put things in place to prevent those kinds of attacks. So, 80% of attacks come through something called phishing. Phishing is when you receive an email that looks legitimate but is designed to trick you into taking an action that benefits a scammer. For example, an email asking you to take urgent action to pay a bill, scan a QR code, or click a link claiming you need to resolve an issue. These messages often create a sense of urgency, so you react quickly. Some phishing attacks also direct you to a fake logon page that looks identical to your real system or the Microsoft 365 sign-in page, tricking you into entering your username and password so attackers can steal your credentials. What the hackers are trying to get people to do is click on the link, and these hacks are getting more and more sophisticated. Far less frequent, but much more damaging, are ransomware attacks. Ransomware may be one of the least likely threats, striking roughly 1% of companies, but it remains the most devastating because of the scale of damage it causes when it does hit, using extortion tactics to intensify pressure. Recovery is rarely quick or cheap. On top of this, stolen data can lead to GDPR breaches, legal and regulatory consequences, reputational damage, lost clients, and for some firms, business collapse. So even if the odds seem like 1 in 100, the impact is so catastrophic that no company can afford to gamble its future on avoiding it. Ransomware works by locking your systems, encrypting or stealing your data, and then demanding a payment for its return, with attackers increasingly using double or even triple extortion tactics to intensify pressure. So even if the odds seem like 1 in 100, the impact is so catastrophic that no company can afford to gamble its future on avoiding it. So, how do you build your digital scaffolding to keep your team safe when working? Cyber training is the answer. Training is the most important step you can take to reduce your cyber risk, and it needs to be consistent. Every month, employees should receive short 3 to 5 minute training sessions and simulated phishing emails so they can recognize real threats when they appear. It's about building awareness across the entire organization, from the board of directors to a brand new apprentice. Everyone needs to be involved. Giving everyone the confidence and understanding to spot risks and act appropriately is one of the strongest defenses your business can have. It's about people knowing if there's a risk and how to mitigate it. You wouldn't let someone go on a building site without a hard hat and boots. So, you shouldn't let any of your staff use IT unless they're doing regular cyber awareness training. And it's not expensive, just a few pounds per staff a month. While a serious cyber incident might cost in the thousands, hundreds of thousands, or bankrupt your business. So, it's much cheaper to do the awareness training. What's also really nice is that the organisations we've seen doing this successfully have teams who are much more aware. When we speak to them, they're already asking, "Who are you? What are we doing here? Is this safe?" So, by training your staff as a human firewall, it can make a really big difference. Next, we're focusing on vulnerabilities caused by unsupported or outdated applications and operating systems, and the steps we need to take to stop this from occurring. If you meet Cyber Essentials standards, you will know that you need to have all your systems of a supportable standard and with all the latest updates. So you need to have the tools in place to do this quickly and effectively. And in the age of artificial intelligence now, it's very easy for companies to not realize there's a huge vulnerability that can be exploited very simply by non-technical people. It's not difficult to do, and even a novice hacker can achieve significant results now. So what else does the board need to do? We're just going to go through those quickly. And obviously, if you've got questions, that's not a problem. We'll help you get this stuff in place. Insurance, specialist cyber insurance. It's critical you have this in place because if the worst happens, you won't have the skill set to navigate the issue successfully. The insurance company will bring in a team of specialists that are used to doing this sort of work daily. They won't panic and struggle to know where to start. They will guide you, your IT provider or internal IT department, on what to do and in which order, and also handle the negotiations with the hackers if it comes to that. And it probably will if you're not prepared. Your IT team, no matter if internal or an external MSP like us, simply doesn't have the skill set to complete this work without assistance. It would be like asking someone without structural engineering expertise to approve a load-bearing design. Basically, if you ever have a serious incident, this kind of cover brings in people who handle the PR side, the technical recovery teams, and the legal and compliance bits. They'll also help you deal with the GDPR stuff, including letting the Information Commissioner's Office, the UK's data protection regulator, know within the short deadline you're given. You'll have all sorts of issues around communication with your staff, as all your systems will be down, and it's a situation you've probably never had to handle before. All of these things require specialist skills from people that have done it in the past. So, insurance is critical, but be careful. Some insurance providers often set specific requirements, so it's important to have someone carefully review everything to make sure you meet those requirements and that the policy has been checked thoroughly. Some policies offer very little or even no real coverage, which sounds strange, but it does happen. So without a proper review, you could end up with a policy that doesn't protect you at all. We have also seen insurance companies insist on you using their cyber software as part of a discounted insurance deal. We have seen multiple customers decide to remove excellent protection systems and install poorly designed software instead. I mentioned earlier security awareness training. It's one of the best things you can do. It raises the organization's security posture. Your team then understand the risks. They understand the opportunities and things that they need to do when they're speaking to suppliers, customers, IT support, and are just generally more prepared. And when you look at what happened with Marks and Spencer's, that's exactly the risk. One of their suppliers was compromised. So just because your security is in good order doesn't mean to say that you're not going to get a breach through one of your suppliers or customers. You without a doubt need to have multi-factor authentication with all the systems that you use. The alternative is getting hacked, and it could seriously impact your business. Microsoft has said it reduces the chances of being hacked by 99%. Have you heard of vulnerability scanning? Many may confuse this with a pen test, which is something else. With vulnerability scanning, you scan your internal and external systems and look for known weaknesses, and then you can make sure that these things are fixed. With cybersecurity, I could keep going. There are so many products and options, but the goal of the exercise in this webinar is to encourage you to think about the risks and to take a few quick steps to make you feel safer. What's next? Well, I think it's really important that boards don't just take it at face value that your IT support is doing a good job. So I would recommend that you look at having a cybersecurity review. Sit down with key individuals, your IT team, or we can help here and complete a risk matrix. This will help you identify your specific risks and prioritize the quick wins that make you safer. You can review it every 6 months and pick off the biggest impact items each time. Before you know it, you'll be fine-tuning the less risky items. The more you do, the less the risk, and hackers will go next door. This will put you in a good position to collect those compliance icons for your marketing, but doing it the correct way so you can back them up as fact. I hope this webinar is a helpful start towards your cybersecurity journey. Here are a few things to think about as we finish for today. To start with, how much downtime is too much? An hour, 1 day, a week, a month? The shorter the period, the higher your cyber budget will need to be. Don't assume your IT team are protecting you. Cybersecurity is a joint effort between your staff, stakeholders, and your IT team, and roles need to be assigned, and someone needs to lead. Is this in place? A RACI form will help with this. What controls do you have in place for paying suppliers and for customers paying you to ensure that there isn't a financial fraud? Would Cyber Essentials and ISO 27001 compliance give you a business advantage over your competitors. And then finally, we've got artificial intelligence coming in now. Are you ready for this enormous change? So that's it. If you have any questions, please let us know by emailing contact@techresults.co.uk. If you'd like assistance with bringing your cybersecurity up to spec, we would be happy to chat. We help companies ranging between 10 and 300 users make the best of their IT. Thanks so much for watching.